Welcome back to 28 Days of Black History Month with your host, Ray Ray's Comedy. I'm Ray Ray. This story here is on Ellen and William Craft, two slaves that escaped slavery by cross-dressing. The first cross-dressers in black history. We're not talking about nothing like this here. Nah. In 1847, Ellen and William was like, we getting the hell up out of here. Their slave owner was losing all his slaves. He couldn't pay the bank, so the bank took over his slaves and was selling them off individually. And they was like, look, we gonna get up out of here before they sell us off. Ellen was really light-skinned and can pass as white. And you already know William was dark as hell, right? And what they did was Ellen dressed as a man and played as slave master with her slave and traveled through the states all the way until freedom. But the way they accomplished this is that Ellen put a sling on her arm so she didn't have to write, because slaves weren't allowed to write and she didn't know how to write. So she couldn't sign in the hotels, so she act like her arm was broken. She put a bandage around her mouth like if she had a toothache, and said that she was deaf so she didn't have to talk much on the trip, because they would have known that she was a woman and a nigga. And they went through the states and they almost got caught, and it was quick thinking, because they were like, hold on, you supposed to have a little stamper. Every slave master have a stamper. And then black dude was like, master's sick. If you, man, what you gonna do? You ain't gonna let no white man die. Come on, man, I gotta take master to the doctor. And they let that nigga go and shit. Quick thinking. And then they got to Boston and they celebrated, told their story, and shit went everywhere. Everybody celebrated, and they slave masters found out. Was like, oh, go get them niggas. So in 1850, when the Slave Act was passed, where you can go back and get your damn slaves or send slave catchers to get them, they smuggled themselves to London, and then after the Civil War, they came back to Georgia and bought a plantation. But ain't that crazy? The first cross-dressers in history freed themselves from slavery. Ain't that a bitch? Tune back in tomorrow for another episode of 28 Days of Black History Month.